Hello, everyone. Linda Wilson here from Learn to Transcribe Academy. And today we want to talk with one of our recent graduates, Kassandra Schmitt. And we're so proud of Kassandra. She went through the course and just did great. This was our legal transcription with apprenticeship course, which is really more litigation transcription. And so I want to turn the microphone now over to Ms. Kassandra. Let her introduce herself to us and tell us a little bit about herself. So go right ahead, Kassandra.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm Kassandra. I'm 29 years old and I live in Didsbury, Alberta in Canada.
Okay, great. Did you tell me that you had actually gone through steno court reporting school there in Canada?
Yes.
And tell us about that. What happened with all that and how you wound up going from that over into taking our course at legal transcription.
Yeah, so when I was 19 or 20 years old, I went to court reporting school here in Alberta, and it was a 2-year program. And I finished the program, but I didn't quite get my speeds. I got stuck at 200 words a minute, and graduating speed was 225. So I took a couple semesters of night classes just for testing. And after a while, it just gets to be a little bit too much. I wasn't making any progress and still had bills to pay. So I stopped eventually just testing.
Wow, that's a shame. You got up to 200 words a minute and had to drop out. Yeah. You know, I really hate to hear that, but it happens to a lot of people, you know. And so you were doing steno and you were working in a CAT system, is that right?
Yes, Case Catalyst.
Case Catalyst, okay. So you have training in Case Catalyst already, and that, you know, that'll serve you well too, because there are things you can do with that in addition to working using Word. And so somehow you found my training program online and enrolled and went through it. And in this particular course you took, I do teach how to create transcripts in the Microsoft Word program, because that's what, you know, most people out there have and use. And so now you can make transcripts in either one. Do you still have your Case Catalyst software by chance?
I don't.
Well, you can get it back if you need to. Yeah. So anyway, that puts you at an advantage over, you know, maybe other people, in that you already know CAT, and at some point you may want to transition into doing some editing, you know, in the software, as opposed to just what we call straight typing, transcribing. So you do, you know, kind of either one. And so that's great. Well, as far as the future or your future, have you started your apprenticeship? You're in the process now of getting onboarding and everything onboarded with your apprenticeship. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Because you just graduated like a few days ago, last 3 or 4 days back.
Yeah.
So you've already gotten going on that, and I wish you great luck and success. I know you're going to do well. You did really well in the course. Your work was really good, and it kind of showed that I'm thinking this person has some kind of training. I can just kind of tell the ones who've never done it before versus people who have. And you caught on really fast to a lot of the concepts and the formatting, you know, and the punctuation and that kind of thing. And it's a lot. I mean, it's just thousands of things to remember. And what was your overall feeling about the training that you received through me?
I think that it was some of it was a refresher. I learned a lot of the same concepts in court reporting school, but like I said, that was about a decade ago. So it was a really, really good refresher. The punctuation was good. I did take like a punctuation class in court reporting school, but this felt more concise. It felt more practical. Um, less fluff. It was just exactly what you need to know, and here's how we do it. And I really enjoyed that. And I loved the practice files, submitting the practice files. I like being able to go through the audio and listening and just getting everything down, because once you get going, you just don't want to stop. It's addictive to hear the stories of what's going on in the cases. And then to go back through and edit it with all the new knowledge that you have is just so satisfying. And then you finally get to hand one in, and you just kind of feel like, I did it. Like I got to do that. It's really cool.
Yes, you've hit the nail right on the head. And that's exactly how it works. When this is the right fit for you, you'll know it, because it's like how people read books and they just don't want to put them down. It's like, put that book down. Come on. They're just into it. And that's kind of how this works too. You're so into what you're doing that you don't want to stop. You just want to keep going. And that's the way I feel about trials, and why I love trials.
Yes.
Because you're getting the big picture, the whole story, different witnesses telling different pieces of it. And that's just my personal thing. I much prefer trials over depositions. Always have. But, I'm an old courtroom trial reporter anyway. But so did you feel like between depositions and trials that you like the trials better, like I do, or not?
Oh, 100%. I'm a huge true crime fan, and so hearing trials, it just gets my brain going. I just want to know what's next and try and kind of figure it out for myself before it ends.
Yeah. So did you find you liked the criminal better than the civil?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Well, if you like true crime and you listen to podcasts and watch TV shows and all that, you're going to love this kind of work. And so you want to get hooked up if you can with a lot of that type of work, capital murders or whatever interests you. And you learn a lot about human nature, about people and how they think and what motivated them to do this or say that or whatever. And it's interesting to me. It gets you into the psychology, I guess you could say, of human nature.
Yes.
Because all that comes out in litigation and legal proceedings of why this happened and what caused that to happen as a result, and how somebody reacted to something, or how they did this or that or whatever. And it all comes together. And I think it's helpful to you also to say, I don't want to ever make that mistake.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You learn things that helps you to stay on your toes a little better too, because you see what can happen to people. Just that's been my experience anyway.
Yeah.
Well, anything else you might want to add to this? Please go right ahead.
I just feel like, having done both, I feel like a course like yours and doing legal transcription, if you're interested in it for that reason, that you enjoy, listening to these stories, to these cases and trials and things. I have a little bit of regret about going to court reporting school first. I wish I had known that this existed. It's much more affordable, and this is the part that I like, just getting everything down. I did enjoy court reporting school as well, but that's a whole nother world, and that's basically learning another language. But if you're just in it because you enjoy the story aspect of it and knowing what's going on, then I would much more suggest this than going full on into court reporting school right away. Maybe later if it's something you're interested in, but I wish I'd found this first.
Well, or someone could do it the other way around. They could take my course, learn how to make transcripts, and then go to court reporting school. And I think it would be a lot easier for them. They would go in there already knowing the transcript side, and then they just need to learn how to write it. If they're going through steno, they have to learn the steno machine. And I think it would be a lot easier for them.
Definitely.
Or if they're doing voice or whatever, because, as you know, like steno school, for instance, half of it is writing and half of it's transcripts. It's kind of, you got both sides of it. So I'm teaching the transcript side, not how to write it or how to create or do the audio or, being there in person and all that kind of stuff. Just the back end side of it.
Yeah.
So at some point, like I say, you may want to branch out. And that's the good thing about this. You could just continue transcribing if you wanted to, or you could branch into other things with this, such as proofreading or scoping, or even, editing behind artificial intelligence software, ASR, they call it automatic speech recognition. And I'm going to actually be teaching a course in that pretty soon because I'm getting my certification in that now and working on it. And you could go into that, through reporting, or you could do scoping, like I say, or there's just different things that you can do with it, more pathways than just being only one thing. But you're learning the foundational, you just did, of the core, what you need to know. And I like what you said, that your definition or your explanation is perfect. You said that I teach you, this is what you need to know, and here's how you do it.
Yeah.
And that's exactly how this whole course is set up. And you hit the nail on the head, because when I'm learning something, that's what I want.
Yeah.
Explain it, show it to me, and teach me how to do it.
And then let me practice.
Get right to the point with it.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you like that. I guess you'd say a teaching style. That's my style.
Yes. Yeah.
And you did like that.
Well, I
good.
did.
I'm glad, because when you design a course or start thinking about how am I going to put it together, you never really know what the student, how their perception is, are they going to like it or not hate it or whatever? You just throwing it out there and hoping. And that's what I did, and so I'm so happy and glad that you followed right along with it and found it to be user friendly. So good. Well, I am so proud of you, and you have just done an amazing job going through this, sticking with it. You just turned those practices in, you got on it, and you just didn't let it rattle you. Some people get frustrated. They hit those little walls and they're just like, oh, I just can't do this. And you just kept on with it because you knew at the end it was going to pay off for you. You knew that. And
100%.
It has.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, anything else you want to say before we close it out? You just go right ahead, Miss Kassandra.
I appreciate the fact that there is an apprenticeship attached to this course. My biggest fear is knowing how to get into something, once you're done school is fine, but the real world is kind of scary, I guess, to start out in. So this is a great segue to get into that. And I think that's a fantastic part of this program.
Well, thank you. Yeah, you're exactly right. It's almost impossible to get your foot in the door with the right place and get a good fit for you, unless you sort of know somebody or you have a way to do that. And I realize that, and I don't want anybody to be out there fishing around for 2 years hunting a job. That's just not how you do it. And so I think it's very important, if you're going to spend your money and your time and your expertise and everything learning something that you want to do as a career, when you finish you need to have a job. I mean, just go right on into it. And that's why I like having the apprenticeship attached. So I'm glad you like it too. And I know you've already you're in the process of getting started in yours. So keep in touch. And if you need me for anything whatsoever, or need to go back in the course, you can go back in there anytime, even new stuff that's been added, you know, it's yours to keep. So I hope to hear from you and wish you many, many years of success.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for your time today, Miss Kassandra, and we'll talk later, okay?
Sounds good. Bye.
Bye.